What's going on, guys? It's Garlic Head Joe and the island, and today I want to showcase a little bit of what we've been doing. And as you can see, I have tech parasaurs all behind me, and that's right, it is modded. So right now you cannot achieve this through vanilla, you have to use a mod. However, going forward on these steps, you should be able to achieve this in vanilla once the tech creatures are added. But nonetheless, the two mods you're going to need is going to be tech creatures and automated ark. Both of them are going to be linked in the description, so you can go check them out. But anyways, let's go ahead and see how we make metal as well as electronics, oil, and some prime meat. And in this mod, they're also including element shards, but the mod settings will allow you to change that if you wish. You can change the loot on any of these creatures regardless. So we'll go ahead and take a look here real quick. So to achieve this, basically we built this silo. It is a giant circle, or circle-ish, if you will. And it has a center hole that goes down to the bottom. We'll sneak over here. And down below, there's some air conditioners and a couple creatures as well that are going to kind of catch the babies and harvest our metal. So I have a Thyla right now and a Raptor both in there. Normally I used a Theory for this, but we tried the Theory and it did not work the way that I wanted it to. It just kind of sat there the whole time, so it was kind of dead on arrival, unfortunately. So swapped it out with a Thyla and a Raptor, and once we go down there I'll show you a little bit more to this. But what's important here is getting these parasaurs. Again, these parasaurs are from the tech creatures. It is crossplay. There's two versions. There's a PC version and a crossplay version. I am using the crossplay version, which is the one that is probably the more stable of the two. As an administrator, it is kind of nice. You can hold down R and you can get into the tech creatures admin, and you can see the different creatures that are there, and you can change the different settings. I'm not logged in as an administrator right now, so I can't do anything in this. Go ahead and get out of that. I did do a review on tech creatures, so you can go ahead and check that out. I'll go ahead and link that also in the description. All right, so these guys are going to breed with the males that are on the perimeter here, just like so. And once they do that, they'll go ahead and drop their eggs down below. They'll hatch and they'll be harvested by the creatures we have below. Very important if you're doing this though, is you want to try to get these parasaurs as close to the edge here, and they're going to push me off as possible. And I mean, basically the good test is if you see them poop and it falls, the eggs are going to fall too. So that's kind of what we want to get this to work properly. Go down below and see what we have set up down there. All right, we're just coming into the bottom of the silo here, and as you can see, it's kind of intimidating. I wish I could name it the daycare center, but it's just horrible things are going to go on in here, and it's sad, but it's what we need to do to get metal and all the other components we want. So you're going to probably ask, well, why do I have raptors on the outside here? Because all of the magic is happening inside there. Unfortunately, and this has been an issue that's occurred with both Ark Ascended and Evolved, sometimes things clip through the wall and they eventually get in here. In fact, I'll show inside here what I've done to try to mitigate that a little bit. So go ahead and go in. This, when we first started, was all foundations here. We ended up with parasaurs stuck in the foundation, and they just grow up in the foundation, and they can't do anything about it. So they just grow up and either starve to death or just become a nuisance and eventually end up with a baby explosion. It's just a mess. So I took out the foundations. It's been a heck of a lot better to deal with that. Just not needed right here. So it works out perfect. Using the air conditioners. Now these are the automated Ark air cons. They are way more powerful than vanilla. So kind of keep that in mind. So I only need 2. In fact, I probably can get away with 1 of them. I have not tested that, but yeah. And then, like I said, the raptors for out and about here when one of them does manage to get out and run away, because you don't want to have like 50 of them in this hallway here just kind of chilling, because it's just not going to work. All right, so let's take a look at a couple little things that you should be aware of if you're going to do this. We're going to go check out the other end of this here, and then after we're done with that, we'll go ahead and turn it on and see how it all works. So I'm going to go into the base here, and right here is the automated Ark Industrial Forge. The control console, you have to have the control console in basically, I'll show you basically the range here. Show pull range. As you can see, we got a grid out here. And our structures inside the grid. It's cutting it off just a little bit, but it's no problem because they all cross over, so it should be fine. And then just kind of get you an idea here. This is also how we do our polymer farm up in this building. So it's the grid is actually encompassing this as well, so it'll pull anything that I tell it to pull out of the dino inventory. So that's what we're relying on. We don't actually have to do a whole lot with the Thyla and the raptors in here, because this system every 2, 3, 4 minutes, I'm not entirely sure what the interval is, it will check and see what inventory it has, and then it's going to suck it into the control console and sort it into wherever I have it set to sort. So let's go ahead and take a look at the metal that we're getting off of the tech creatures, because as you know, tech creatures in Survival Evolved drop scrap. Well, these guys drop scrap, but if I have to be totally honest, the tech creatures mod seems to be just a reskinned iron ore that they're dropping. Kind of makes it a little bit difficult because it is not recognized by automated Ark as iron ore, so I can't get it to automatically feed into our forge. But that being said, what I've done is just pretty much set a vault here to catch it all, and it's stacking in 300. Now, like the scrap metal of Ark Survival Evolved, you don't get a 1-to-1 ratio when you smelt it. It is going to be a 2-to-1, just like the iron ore. So that's what makes me think that it's just kind of a reskinned iron ore with the different icon for the scrap metal on it, possibly. So it doesn't really matter. That's all right. So basically 300 is 150 ingots, basically. So we're getting 150 ingots off of each of these stack. And then what will occur is once I toss it in here, it'll automatically flow to the next section, which is our resource bin, which is where all of our finished resources are. You can see we have a whole lot of electronics from running the farm so far, and these are the element shards that it's also giving out as part of the mod. Getting some oil from it, gotten a ton of prime meat as well, and then when we run the forge, it just drops the automatically drops the ingots right on in here as well. So it's kind of a great way of doing it. Again, automated Ark is really cool. If you do install it, very important that you don't just turn it on. It will mess up any organization you currently have. You need to go through the steps. You need to go into each of your bins and say, show this right here. And what it'll do is it gives you all the things that you have in here, and you check it. And basically, you need to confirm it and then close that menu, then turn on the sorting. And you can do that from the control console here. I'm still learning automated Ark, so I'm going to eventually do a video on it, but it's there's so much to it. I'm just showing you just a little bit of what we're doing with it right here, right now. I have lots of things using it right now. So, let's see here. So I think, see, just you want to keep it as disabled as auto sorting until you get all your bins set. Until you do that, do not turn that on. You will have a mess. It will suck everything into the inventory in this device, and it becomes a pain in the rear to resort. I screwed up very first time, did it, regretted it. So, all right. So that being said, I'm gonna shut off our pull range because that's annoying. Cool. All right. So as you kind of see the flow basically from the silo over here, it automatically is sucked from the dynos using the automated Ark. I thought I shut that off. The automated Ark system. It's going to pull it on into the vault. It's also going to sort the electronics in our current resources and the oil. And then literally once in a great while, whenever I have time, I can come over here and just quickly transfer it into my forge and run it all. So pretty much how it works. Let's go ahead and turn on our factory here and let's see how it works. All right, so what I normally do is I come to one of the males and I'll just go ahead and go to behavior. I'm going to enable the mating, and then I'm going to go ahead and go back to behavior. I'm going to copy that right on over to everything. Boom. All right, they're all starting up here, or should be anyways. All right, guys. Sorry for it being so loud here. Anyways, got the factory on and going here, and it is producing metal like crazy. Let's go and take a look here. You see everything's working. And they are harvesting like crazy. Let's go take a look and see here. It's been running for about an hour since we started the recording, so we ended up with quite a bit of metal, I think. We'll go check it out. Get away from there because it is so loud. And we're doing pretty good here, so this is, let's see here, so 300, 600, 750, I think, roughly, per line. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty good here. When I get some time, I'll go ahead and smelt that all up, and I will have a good supply of metals, considering we're the process of building out on the ocean with the Alpha Oceanic platforms and building out a breeding center. So I'm gonna need a lot of metal for that. I do recommend, if you do log off and you have very few people on your server, or this is in single player mode, make sure to disable mating during the time that you're logged off. And the main reason is that it does appear that when you log back in, the buildings load in separately, obviously. And what they can do is they can cover up some things in the mesh. So right now what we're seeing here is the Thyla and the Raptor are attempting to go after whatever is stuck underneath, and they can't do it. They're not moving. They're not going after what's sitting next to it, basically. What eventually happens is the parasaurs actually really reach maturity level and will actually fight back eventually. And they can kill your tames that are in here doing this, because, you know, there'll be strength in numbers at that point. So just keep that in mind. I highly recommend disabling it when you're not using it. Now they finally cleared something, so they're moving, which is good, or it might have actually disappeared. So some side notes to the metal farm here. First off, you're going to want to make sure your rates are actually a little bit higher. We have great mating rates on the server right now. They are extremely fast. It does aid in this. If you're keeping it at default rates, it will take longer and you'll have to keep an eye on it. This metal farm is derived from seeing Syntacs actually do this in ASC. And ever since then, I've created the same type of farms. He's done several of them, multi-level, multi-tiered ones, and so forth. So definitely go check him out. Again, heavily inspired by this. Another thing definitely worth noting on this here is these parasaurs need to be all set to passive, and they also need to be set to ignore group whistles. Otherwise, you can have a mess and you have to come back up here and deal with it. Hey, if you enjoyed the factory tour, why not check out another one of our farms? It's our polymer farm and snail paste farm. That is actually up on top of the hill right here. We did a video here. It's showing up on your screen right now. You can go ahead and click that and watch. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next one.